Hi guys, welcome back to Fiery Love 1111. I'm here and going to do a reading. I was getting ready to start this reading about my series on the ego and that difference between the ego and our higher selves, or that internal knowing. And these are all the cards that came out, and they all have a story to tell. It seems to me right now, so far, it refers to a divine masculine telling his story about learning this difference. And so, I don't even know if I should put this deck down because the cards just keep falling out and falling out. And so I'm going to try to do my best. And if Spirit calls me, I might just have to set my phone up real quick and shuffle the cards and keep going, but let's just go with it. So the first message that I got regarding this divine masculine and his lessons that he's learned so far was this denial and defense. This came out. Okay, so these darker cards are going to be what's referencing our ego, okay? This being in defensive mode and just, putting up this barrier and not letting anybody in, energy, and, there's just no way that you can get past this energy of this blocking, being so defensive and not letting anybody in emotionally, physically, anything. It's very much a blocked energy. And then also, just being in denial about many things in his life, and not speaking his truth, Spirit says. And so Temperance is here working with this. Temperance has been working with this energy and trying to temper that out and help this divine masculine realize how defensive he has been, how these walls that have been blocked up, and he hasn't been living a very authentic life because of this block, being so defensive and not letting anybody in. Because in not letting anybody in, Spirit says, you're also not letting your emotions and true self come out. And so Spirit has been this divine masculine has been blocking that, and in being in denial about the simple fact that he has been defensive. Right? So it's a very strong energy coming in, but Temperance is here, and Temperance is going to even this out. Temperance is working with him right now, evening out this energy and helping him be aware of the defensive tactics that he has been doing, the defensive maneuvers. Sitting in the ego is being this defensive energy, and being in denial is this defensive energy, because the ego doesn't want us to be hurt. Spirit showing us that difference. When you're sitting in your ego, you don't want to be hurt, right? You don't want to hurt your pride, because pride and ego are, twins. They sit right next to each other, and you can't have one without the other, right? So, when you're sitting in your ego, this is how you can be. And Spirit is saying, helping him clear that, tempering out those energies, clearing those energies up, and allowing his higher self to come through and be more of his authentic self. Okay, and then the next card that came in was, this drama card, drama. So all this drama has been happening in his life because of this defensive and denial actions that he has been doing. Those energies that he's been putting out in the world have been causing a lot of drama. Because, okay, so I want you to picture this, okay? So when you're in your ego, so like say this is my hand and this is my body, anything surrounding that. All right, now I'm going to look at it this way. Okay, say this is a person. Okay, this is a person, and on all all these stones that are encircling this person is the energy that surrounds your soul, right? So when you are defensive and in denial, you're putting that energy out, outside of your body. You're pushing that energy out. So anybody that comes that it you know, talks with you, resides with you, anybody that's even a friend. You don't even have to be in the same town, in the same state. As long as you're connecting with this person, you are going to feel this energy of denial. You're going to feel this energy of being in a defensive mood. So being defensive, puts off this forceful energy, right? And, defensive is a very blocked energy. So what does it cause? It causes a lot of drama to happen in his life. There's a lot of drama because, look at this energy. Like, why are you being so defensive? Why are you, or like, he's saying like, he's realized how much he was said, why are you attacking me? What are you doing? I'm not doing anything wrong. I haven't done anything wrong. I've been really good. I've been a perfect person, right? Look at that face, how angry that is, right? So that causes all that drama because you're in this defensive mood. You're just defensive energy, just very, very, it's so tiring and so hard to keep pushing out this energy that's so negative. And this is what's been happening, just over and over and over and over, just pushing out this energy. So this Queen of Swords is this energy of coming in and saying, I'm done, I'm not going to deal with this anymore, I'm not going to tolerate this energy anymore. This is almost like a divine feminine coming in and saying, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, how defensive you're being. You're putting this wall up and I'm not tolerating anymore. I'm putting a stop to it, right? So that just makes him realize even more how much he has been in a defensive mood, because the first thing he says is, well, I wasn't the cause of it. It wasn't my fault. It was somebody else's fault, right? But Temperance is here showing him, yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's no more time anymore for being in denial. Denial, you're not going to be in denial anymore. Temperance is sitting here and showing him the denial's not going to exist. You need to fess up and realize what this energy is that you're causing. You're pushing people away, pushing people out of your life, and it's you're losing the people you love. So this Queen of Swords reminds him. This Queen of Swords energy reminds him that he is truly pushing away these people that he totally loves. And Temperance is asking him, do you still want to keep doing that? Because is it really helping you? Spirit always asks, it doesn't tell. And Spirit's asking, do you, is this really helping you? Right? So, and then it makes him harbor secrets. Okay, so all these secrets are being harbored more and more and more because he's been so defensive and been all defensive and been in denial, causing all this drama. So then what happens? It causes so much secrecy. There's a lot of secrets that just keep building up and building up and building up. And what I'm seeing is, it's him, it's like pushing people away. And this devil energy is here because it literally it puts him in this devil energy. The more secrets he harbors, the more secrets he hides, and the more people he pushes away and being in denial. Look at this, the woman, some divine feminine that's in his life is, I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're not going to touch me because you're just harboring all these secrets, right? So he's really facing this. He's having to face this. And there's this death and transformation happening and it's affecting his health. His health is being affected very greatly because these darker energies of the ego that has been ruling his life makes him sick. It makes him physically sick. And, and it causes this the death card is here because it's causing him to really take a look deep down at his life and what he really wants. And what he really wants is this beautiful, beautiful love and relationship and joy and passion and, just a wonderful, wonderful life there's somebody, a divine feminine out there that really loves him. And he really loves, but he hasn't been able to face it, okay? He's been in denial. He's been too defensive. He won't let anybody in. And death is here transforming that energy and showing him that, if this doesn't change, your health is going to stay affected. You're going to stay being sick. And this, and it's not helping this person that you really love and you want to be with, right? So, and it causes him once again to, have all this guilt. He's sitting in this guilt energy because, all he can think about is this wonderful, wonderful person that he loves and wants to be with. And the guilt of not being able to say it, not being able to talk to him, not to being able to express his feelings, this denial and defensive and this defense mechanism that he's holding himself in is causing just all this guilt. And it makes him look very, very, deep into this energy of the moon, going very, very deep within. Making him think about what he really wants. And he just pictures himself being this king for her. Look how protective this energy is. He's got his arms, wrapped around her, and, his legs are spread wide. He's like completely protecting her, right? Like, I'll never, ever let anybody hurt you. I'll never let anything bad come to you. I want to protect you. I want to love you. This is the energy of his higher self. Okay, that's the energy of his higher self that's screaming out, look, this is what his heart wants to do. This is what his soul wants to do. But because he's not living his higher truth and listening to his intuition and listening to his higher self, that truth of his soul, it puts him in this guilt energy, because you're going to have this guilt when you're not listening to your higher self. It just happens, when we go against what our souls are calling us to do, calling us to be, the higher self, the love that we want to express. It has to be manifested somehow, right? It's energy. And if it's not manifested into love for somebody, then it goes within, it curls up within, and it manifests as guilt. It manifests as pain. It manifests as bad health, right? Because it's energy and it has to go somewhere. So not listening to your higher self, not doing these things that his higher self is telling him to do, it's causing him, like I said, it's going within very much, sitting in his divine feminine energy of the moon, and going within and really realizing this pain, this guilt that I'm feeling is because I'm not being true to myself. I'm not being true to myself. And he's starting to realize that moon's energy is helping him to realize that. And then, all he wants is to come forward to this divine feminine and talk to her. And he wants redemption. He wants forgiveness. He wants, his true love. This is his prayers. These cards that came out are his prayers. The stars energy is, wishing and hoping and praying for the one that you love, right? So he wants that redemption. He wants to be free from this pain and guilt. He wants to be, he wants this redemption. His higher self wants this redemption, but his ego isn't letting him. See how all the flames are behind her? It's like a fiery pain in your gut when you want something so bad, but your ego's stopping you. Your ego's stopping, or because you don't want to get hurt, right? You don't want to get hurt. Oh, I don't want, the ego's stopping him because, what if she turns me away? What if she doesn't forgive me? This is the ego self, not asking for that redemption, not asking for that forgiveness. So ego's very different than our higher self. This is how he feels. This is what he wants when he thinks about being with his divine feminine. It's just, loving energy, asking for forgiveness, wanting that redemption, just being truthful and loving and honest, right? And, Justice is here helping him. Justice is, here helping him to work with that energy of asking for redemption, asking for forgiveness, and releasing this karma, or releasing this ego, and, just balancing out these energies to help him be right with his soul. That's what pretty much Spirit is showing, is showing me. And then I have just a few more cards here. And then, that knowledge of how justice is working, that he's coming into that. He's coming into that knowledge in his ego of all the wrongs that have been happening and how he wants to make it right. Okay, now his ego, of course, is always limiting beliefs. There's always that limiting energy that pushes, that doesn't allow us to move any more forward, because the ego is the protective energy, right? The ego is a survival mechanism. The ego is what says, don't do that. You better not ask for forgiveness, because she might slam the door in your face and you're really going to get hurt. But this ego is actually starting to break down. It's starting to break down, and his higher self, his stronger higher self, is starting. The energy of that is coming through stronger. His higher self is taking over his ego, pretty much. Sorry, that's how Spirit's saying it. Judgment is karma, and judgment is here. Judgment is here, and showing him, and showing him his higher self is stronger than his ego. His higher self knows what's best for him, and that is stronger than his ego. And this is that energy that's actually being transformed. Okay, it's literally being transformed, where the ego is breaking down and his higher self is learning to come through and speak its truth. Not listen to the ego, but speak his truth with his higher self. And the magician's energy is here, along with the world, and that energy is helping him transform that ego. Just take that. He was realizing he can take that ego self, he can harness it, and he can control it. He can control it. He has the free will to control his own ego. He's learning this. Okay, karma, judgment, is helping him to show him he can control his own ego. And in so doing, he can have the world. He can have the world. He can have his divine feminine. He can have anything he wants. He can make the world what he wants. He can make the universe his universe. And his universe is this person that he loves, right? So, and karma's teaching him this. Karma's showing him this, that he has the will. He has the strength inside to be his own magician and transform that energy of his ego and cut it away, transform it, transmute it into beautiful, beautiful energy of his higher self that is his truth. And he can be, his own king in his own kingdom, pretty much, And it shows him the Chariot's energy, which is actually taking control of his life and actually taking action to take control of his life. And then the last one was creation. He is learning, and look what card came out with creation. The sun. Isn't that crazy? The creation came out with the sun. You can't get any better than that. He's sitting in this energy now of learning to be his higher self, like a phoenix rising with this owl here, and this energy of learning to transform, take all this energy, all that negative energy of his ego that was the denial, that was being so defensive and causing all this drama, right? And having all these secrets, okay, that were affecting his health and making him so sick. He can take all that energy and all that guilt, take all that energy and create, transform it, transmute it, set the intention of taking those energies that control us. The ego is always a controlling, a limiting energy, okay? And when you realize that, when you can harness that and understand that the ego is always just a protective survival mechanism, and you can take that energy, you can transform that, transmute it into your higher self, your higher knowing that says, I don't need this energy. Your higher self will always say, I don't need this energy that limits me, that stops me, that gives me fear, that also says I can't do something, right? The ego's just the opposite of everything that our higher self knows. Our higher self says, I can do this. I am capable to do this. I am energy and I am limitless. And the ego says, oh no, you can't. You might get hurt. Or, oh no, you can't. Blah, blah, blah. So understanding that you can harness that energy, harness that, understand it, and stop it when it starts to take over, and listen to your higher self. That's when that transformation happens. That's when that true transformation happens. And the sun's energy is that energy of living in your purpose, living in your higher self, that higher knowing, and all that is, that's not limited to any ego. So if he has any fear, then he knows he needs strength. There's strength and there's needing strength. In this earth world, this earth plane, there is strength and then there's needing strength. There's not strength and weakness. On the earth plane, there's strength and there's weakness, right? It's always something egotistical. It's always something, negative. But in the higher self, the higher planes, in the spirit world, in the universe, we know there's strength and there's needing strength. There's love and there's needing love. There is no such thing as strength and weakness, love and hate. It's how much you have it within yourself. And that's what he's learning. He's transforming right now. This is a now energy. Transforming that ego, transmuting it, and realizing I am strong. I am limitless. And I am fearless. So that's the last, so far, unless Spirit wants me to do another one, that was the session 4, I think, of this ego series that I have been doing. And I hope you guys really liked it. I'd love for you to comment below, like, share, subscribe, send it to anybody that, you may think might need to hear a little bit more about how to control our ego, how to let it go, and just really listen to our higher selves. Really listen to our higher selves. Okay? All right, I love you guys. Take care. Bye.